Hey, Mama.
So,
First, I want to start by saying, yo! It's been a crazy week. On the last episode, we did a lot of work. We sat and then I was numb at the end, but I was, oh, this is great, woohoo. And then we purged like a mofo. Talk about that a little bit. You do the work and then you start to sweat off that negative energy.
I knew before last week's episode to brace myself for impact, so to speak, because anytime you're going through an elevation or you're shedding things that no longer resonate and you're doing the shadow work, the tower moments come after that. You're being met with yourself in a way that you're not used to. Once you see things, you can't unsee them. Anything that happens, it becomes very explosive. It was an explosive week.
The negative energy was dripping.
I have felt very physically sick. I'm somebody that's very sensitive to energy, and especially to be around somebody that you have an intimate connection with. That doesn't have to just be romantic, just intimately intertwined energetically with somebody. It could be family, friends, just people you're real close with. If you're very sensitive to their energy and you're open and raw, because the people that we're closest with, they get those versions of us. For me to be very open and raw with Adrian, for him to be going through tower moments, I'm getting my ass handed to me.
Talk about some examples. We're talking about this to help others. We're putting ourselves out here publicly to be able to live the lessons, and we're going to apply. What are the things that we did that were tower moments? The tower moment is when I was here.
It's not the tower.
Okay, what was this?
This was the first time I've ever actually seen you peek at the mirror, look into your shadows.
I do a lot of healing work.
A hamster wheel, I feel.
Explain that.
To me, if you're not making forward progress, for Adrian specifically, he's very hell-bent on, I've done the work, I do the work. That's the narrative, but it's not continuous work. He felt comfortable with where he was at and who he was as a human, which is beautiful, but it's not progressive. For me, I can't justify at this point in my life with anybody, not just because of us. I will not be on anybody's hamster wheel with them. If you're not making forward progress, to be so close with somebody that is going through that, I'm obviously energetically going to get sucked into it as your wounds are opening up and you're, I'm the thing in the room with the, you know what I'm saying? I don't say any of that to diminish.
I don't take it that way because I'm confident in myself in terms of where I was to where I am. Let's go back. Okay, we left here. I wasn't upset.
You were numb.
I was numb.
Process.
If someone would upset me in the past, I would shut down, I would bounce. I'd be a workaholic, I wouldn't come home. I've acted like that. That's not healed at all.
Just because you show back up does not mean you're healed. It just means you're not, and you do that, where you'll be at the restaurant longer, you'll make yourself more scarce. Then when you're home, you're more agitated, or you assume that I'm a certain way. So your wall is still up and no actual healing or work is going into it, no thought is going into it, because for you, generally speaking, you think that you have nothing to work on. You think that like you can do no wrong, and you project a lot.
I don't see that because there are...
Case in point.
Okay, but listen, there are things that I feel are very valid. Things that you may do that I have to sit in because the way that I do serve you, the way that I am grateful for you, the way that I think a divine masculine should show up for a divine feminine. There are things that you say and do that I just take. That was a lot of our arguments over the week, are things that maybe you might say something that I didn't totally agree with. And instead of battling you about it, I would be like, okay, at the same time, I didn't agree with it. Does that make sense?
If that were the reality, yes, that would make sense.
But was not that the reality? That's the thing I don't get. I don't understand.
Because when you're in your wounds, especially when you're raw, and it's in the moment, you don't pause. There is not any thought. And the misconception that you have is that because you show up in the ways that you think are righteous, you're good. Despite the fact that I tell you exactly what I need, how I need it, why I feel that way, what that will do for me, what that translates to in our relationship, and not anything crazy, just like, hey, I'm hurting. This is one of my wounds. This is a trigger of mine. I need this from you as my partner to help me grow, to help me move through it, to help us, essentially. Then you combat me because you do X, Y, and Z per you. But the things that I ask for, and I can put on a silver platter, and give to you, if you don't comprehend it, it doesn't change. Then you start a new running narrative of, I do all of these things and I know that I'm a good man, which is true, absolutely. But if somebody asks you, this is what I need, this is how I need you to show up for me, and you rebel against that, that's what you rebel against. It may not be like, oh, you're not staying out late like you would in other relationships, but it's still rebelling against what I'm actively telling you that I need. Does that make sense?
It's making more sense, 100%. Say there was something that, and this happens in relationships, that someone accuses you of something, whatever it is, you're like, there's no reality in my world of this actually happening. What, now you're getting a little uncomfortable.
I'm annoyed, but continue.
To me, you seem uncomfortable. But why is it that you get annoyed when I have a valid point, what my POV is?
I understand your POV, and it's annoying because while I understand your POV, I also understand mine, and you only understand yours. And you don't make any effort to meet me where I'm at and understand where I'm coming from. Then you're annoyed because you understand your side, you have no interest in looking at mine, and you feel that I don't get you because you don't get me. And that is not the case. So it's very frustrating for me when I'm very clearly articulating and expressing something and it's not clicking because you're on the defense. Then I'm being punished for feeling a certain way when I've said this is a trigger. Or if something triggers me and I say, I wouldn't be triggered if I felt safe in this moment. What safety in this moment looks like is this, this, and this. What I need to feel that is this, this, and this. And I don't get that. I get, oh, these are your wounds. You're in your wounds. You're punishing me for your past. That is a projection because no, I'm not. I am basing everything, any relationship I'm in, whether it be intimate, family, friends, it is very specific to that person, period.
Okay.
Have I lashed out about whatever, like as I'm growing? Absolutely. And I own it every single time.
I'm asking because I want to know how to handle it better, right?
I tell you how to.
I don't know if I'm understanding this. If I'm in a situation and you say something that is, why'd you do this? And I didn't, in my POV, my reality, I know that I didn't do it. What am I supposed to do in order to serve you better?
I do tell you that.
I don't know if I'm
confused where this question's coming from.
I don't know if I'm getting.
I understand that you're not. I get that there's a disconnect. What I'm saying is you don't ever come off the defense long enough to try to see where I'm coming from because you are so hell-bent on running your narrative. Like right now.
This is a very back and forth conversation. I want to know what I do in that situation. That's all I'm asking you. What do I do in that situation?
If I'm triggered and I tell you, this is how I feel, this is why, and I don't feel safe, this is your opportunity to show up as my man, as my partner, as my best friend, and be that safe space, be the comfort. It is always why that's not true, why that's not the case. Oh, you're in your wounds. It is always diminished because it's something that you're uncomfortable with or you disagree with. So it's not valid. I'm talked over to the point where I'm raising my voice, which is something that I've gotten so far away from in my life.
Same. Okay. The other day I did come to you and said, see you, I hear you.
To say those words every time, you feel a little better. Once your mood's a little, or if we're gonna be around people. You put the mask on, you put the politician back on. I don't do that. I react to exactly what's happening in that reality, and I don't code switch just because there's going to be other people or just because I feel a little bit better. There's either resolution or there's not. And if there's not, I can't be huggy, kissy. I'm not set up like that. Most very genuine people, especially people that are very like spiritually in tune or energetically sensitive, cannot do that. That's very frustrating for me because then I feel like it's cat and mousey, like you're picking me up by the tail, just fucking with me. That's really hard.
Yeah, no, I can imagine if that's how you feel. I'm sorry for that. And 1,000%. That's not my intention at all. My intention is to serve you, to be the best me.
But an apology without changed behavior is emotional manipulation. And that is the point that I keep trying to convey. Where I hear the words or I see them via text, I understand that, and I understand that you have a beautiful heart. However, if it's not followed up by changed behavior or action, it is just manipulative. I can't unsee manipulation, whether it be you, anybody. The second I feel manipulation in my body, and I'm aware of it and it's in my energetic field, again, not specific to you, just in my field, I can't fake pleasantries. I can't do that.
You got a lot of feedback for how brilliant you taking the AA model and interpreting it the way that you are. People from AA have called you and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
I'll let you, Meg.
Yeah, it's so crazy. From that conversation from a week ago, in terms of OCD, that was one big thing that we really honed in on. Not giving up my power. OCD is giving up your power. That's why I'm asking you these hard questions too, because I want to be sure that I am growing, that I am doing the work.
Like anything, everything takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. So I anticipated the tower moments, but that was a Hail Mary. If I call him out and the camera, like, he has to do this because I know you will rise to the occasion because you're not gonna get punked out. I have to meet you where you're at. I knew, like I said, to brace for impact because, and not in an ugly way or that I thought you would come at me, but I know how this works. Same Mount Forest rodeo. I knew the towers were gonna start falling and that I would be on the receiving end of that, which, okay, it sucks because it's our relationship. And also it's beautiful because I don't think there's anybody better suited to go on that journey with you and hold space for you in the way that I do and still not take it personally, because I don't take it personally. It physically affects me. And certain things that I'm subjected to where energetically that feels beneath me, I'll get annoyed with that. Since last week, there was a blowout Monday. That's where the tower finally crashed.
What was that, when you were getting flowers?
Yes, since then, you have been more intentional. You have respected my boundaries more without me having to set them. I've noticed an intentionality and a softness that is new as a result of that. And also, I know you're not gonna get no ball into something. You're gonna show up with something to give the people. Not to say that it's about this.
This is the people to me, is Meg, Mama, is
Yo
the
soy
people to me. And then the people. You are the people, and you
Well,
are
but
my audience that all I care about in terms of what we're talking about. I'm glad that I was able to step up to the occasion, and I will continue to. I hear you and I see you, and I'm honored to hear and see you, and I always do better.
I don't mean the people in an ugly way.
No, I know.
You are a father to many, right? Not just our tribe, but a lot of people look to you for that growth and that that guidance. For me to see your wheels turn and certain things click where they weren't, where you're like, oh my gosh, yes, like with this concept, when I master this myself, I can help teach these people. I mean that more from a teacher standpoint than I'm trying to appease the public because the camera's on in this regard. Just to be clear, because I'm not trying to dog anybody, and especially not you.
I would not be sitting here.
Look how beautiful the sky looks.
Is it?
Hold on 2 seconds, everyone. If you look right there, it looks like there's a slice. God put a little slice in that cloud. You see it?
I do. Wow. It's real
Continue.
out here. It's real out here. Can the camera see it if I get out of the way? I think so, possibly.
Nope.
I wish you could
This
see
just
it. It's
in.
so beautiful.
You can't.
Authentic expression. What does that mean to you?
Existing exactly as myself, every moment of every day, good, bad, or otherwise.
You are. You're real. You're raw.
Much to many people's dismay.
100%. Every day is a journey. Man, it's a journey I want to be on. It's a journey that I was chosen to be on. It's exciting. It's wonderful. Being able to break barriers and to level up is always great.
That's beautiful.
So thanks for that. Talk about some of the phone calls you've gotten and some of the texts. So many people have reached out, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Some of them I will not. There's a lot of people who were in the program or are currently who don't specifically resonate with any type of religious sector. They felt like making the 12 steps spiritual, they felt more visible than a lot of people that are in the program who've worked it, and they feel excited, they feel inspired because it's like a little refresher course. Not a lot of people who have a platform discuss things like this. It's fresh, it's exciting. I've had other people come out of the woodworks who are like, yo, I went through this, and that, and I get calls and texts like that anyway. But this really elevated that, like in a glimmer of hope way where light bulbs have been turned on in different ways. It's not just me being tough and having that format, it's also people feel very inspired by your vulnerability and your willingness. My sponsor used to say to me, you have to be honest, open, and willing, because if you're not willing, you're just a hoe. Get it? HOW, honest, open, willing. Without the willingness, you just a hoe.
I ain't no hoe. I'm gonna say this one more time. I ain't no hoe.
You're not but a hoochie mama. How do you feel internally? What do you notice in your body, in your mind, in your meditations? What feels different now versus last week or prior?
OCD is a waste of time, even though that it is a energetic
Siphon.
I feel something, I don't like the energy, I'll flip it, I'll start it over. Again, it's giving up your power. Your birthright is to have a divine life, right? Is to have abundance, and you are going against that. It's not natural to do those things. Me, as passionate as I am about life, is about being who I'm supposed to be in life, what I came here for. I feel that it's a disjustice.
Can I pause you for a moment? It's not nonsensical, it's not unnatural to do these things, to be clear. There are a lot of people that do these things. Even as a child, I would have to bite everything. Everything had to be symmetrical. Even if I got hurt on one side of my body, I would have to make it the same on the other for the balance. It depends on the nature, it depends on the energy. If it's a fear-based, like you're having a panic attack, it also comes down to self-soothing, especially very tapped-in individuals. If you're very spiritual, you're very energetically tuned in. Nothing about the world that we live in makes fucking sense. Our DNA, everything about it knows that. We find different ways within ourselves to self-soothe and combat a world that feels very artificial.
I never felt it was fear-based until you pointed it out, and I really started to look in the mirror and do the work, the shadow work. Okay, I can see that this is a fear-based way of thinking rather than just keep it moving, keep it going. It doesn't always have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because of being a perfectionist and being so attention to detail, that's one thing that really resonated with me. Man, we're still coming off a week of, even earlier in the podcast, there was emotions between both of us, and we really get along all the time.
That's
no, 100%.
Dialogue, even heated, especially with the people that you love, especially if you're not looping with it, it's progressive. As long as you have the shared goal and intent to progress.
And I do, and I do. I know you do too.
I do.
Make that face again, one more time.
Ow.
It's the Joker face, I love that. Wow.
Thank you, I made it myself.
And you got your tooth gems back this week.
Ding, ding.
Look at that, I love it. They look great. You look great tonight, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
It's
It
been a
has
tough,
pockets.
I'm saying you were Monday a little bit, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yesterday you were down and out, and then to come back and look so beautiful.
Yesterday, every part of my body was affected. I was having chest pains. When things are happening energetically, my physical body takes such a hit. Stress is a silent killer. Tuesdays I volunteer in Connor's class, so I was like, there's no way I'm missing that. Because there's little kids that when I get there, they have notes ready for me that they made earlier that day, or pictures, or I'll challenge them the week before. Hey, okay, so by next week, I want to see this. I can't not go, so I have to find a way to feel better about this. As long as I elevate my legs, keep my body still. That was my plan. Did that for a little bit. And then I was like, no, the best way for me to come back into my body is to do intentional things with my hands. I'm a nurturer in my feminine. Not to say that you can only do these things as a woman because it's feminine, but to be in your feminine body. I started making a huge thing of soup. I'm cutting everything, getting everything ready. That's where I find my zen, and that's where my energy comes back. I was in the kitchen on a roll that I'm ordering groceries, I'm cleaning. That's what brought me back. And then I was able to go and be top tier in that classroom, which then, that for me is like a meditation.
Best soup ever. We've been eating soup for 3 days.
I went 3 days, it was yesterday.
We ate it for last night, this morning, this afternoon, so 3 times. For me, 3 days, first 6 to 12 noon is one day, and 12 noon to 4 p.m. is another day, and 4 p.m. to midnight is another day.
Stack it up over a year, I'll kick in your butt.
A breath of appreciation for all of this. I look out the window right now, we got the whole Menace crew shooting bee-free content. We're shooting the podcast
And Caleb's out there, shout out Caleb.
Caleb Tanone's out there with
In the
them.
mix.
Just graduated Michigan, cybersecurity. Meditations. My meditations, I let meditations come to me. My meditations are all over the place. When I'm on the Peloton, I'm not going and picking classes. The first 3 classes that come into the algorithm is what I feel is meant for me. What's been coming to me lately is Joe Dispenza's been coming to me. There's a lot of frequency work.
But what do you internally feel different? because that's still very external to your experience, and to be guided by that and only just focus on that, regardless of what you're listening to or nothing. What do you feel is different about your takeaway or your experience while you're within it?
It's counterproductive in a way. I feel less patient in them.
No, that's beautiful. I'm so glad you said that. He fucking turns these things out. He's like, here, let's listen to a meditation. I'm like, I will fucking jump out of the car. I'm not listening to this shit. Just because, like, got it. I think that's beautiful, and I think that is a huge sign of growth.
No,
that you're moving away from certain.
I agree. I deal with more energy from outside people in terms of all the relationships, all the business stuff, all the 3D things. Sometimes I use meditations to calm my brain, simply calm my brain. I feel like my brain is calm, even though I've been dealing with a lot of different things. You know everything I deal with. The 3D can be banana, especially if you own businesses, if you're in the music industry and you got all these different things going, you're working with artists, God bless them, I'm honored. All the things we manage, my brain feels like it's gonna explode. That's what I have to do in order to calm my body, to calm my brain, to quiet my brain. Otherwise, I'm on 20 all the time. And that's not good. I don't enjoy that. That's why I ride the bike a lot. But again, my patience for sitting there and actually meditating, I think of you. No wonder Meg, like, I can't do this. I get it. But sometimes it's a necessity, but at the same time, I feel that spiritually you get lifted to another elevation.
And yeah, there's nothing wrong with those things. They're super beneficial for people that are at that leg of their journey. We're all walking each other home. We're all just at different parts of our walk, and different strokes for different folks. I'll send stuff that was beneficial to me 5 years ago to people who are at that leg of their journey where I'm like, yo, I'll be super excited about it all over again, but on their behalf. There are still beautiful tools, all of them. God bless the internet for that reason. I think electricity is a demon, but you know, it gets some stuff done. We use the light for the light.
This healing work is not easy at all for anybody that's going through it and that watches this show or just in general. It's real, it's work. Meg and I are both on very similar frequencies spiritually.
Yes, and this isn't talked about nearly enough, I feel, in the spiritual community. It is isolating and it is lonely sometimes being at a higher place of consciousness than your partner because you can't punish them for it. This is the person you love. To expect something or need something from somebody that they're just not there yet, that can feel very isolating. I'm so grateful things are clicking like after last week in certain ways.
I can't just be last week. If that's the case, it wouldn't make sense to me why we've come this far this long. I'm curious, because if you're here and because that's what it sounds like to me.
Partially because you didn't let me finish.
Okay.
For me to be trying to make the same or similar points for the entirety of us knowing each other, and it's not clicking. We do continue to elevate, both of us, but when I'm still elevating conscious and everything I do is rapid pace. Like the way that I'm hard with other people, I'm way harder with me. I'm always fast tracking everything that I'm doing on a soul level, which is also why I get impatient with humans. Because I'm like, what the fuck, why don't you get this? But I put it out, and if somebody gave it to me, I would have just gone with it. I get frustrated in those regards. In terms of the difference with last week, I know who you are to me. I know our journey. We have the common goal, the common interest, that we get along so well. One of the lessons I feel in our relationship is to teach me where I've always been somebody that I catch a bad vibe, I'm out. That is my pattern. It's not because I abandon people. I'm not a runner in that regard. I dig my heels into shit and I take a lot more than I should from people for a very long time. With you, because this is a righteous connection, it's my own shadow work of, are you triggered or is this reality? Is this a familiar discomfort? So do you run? Or is it, okay, this is a feeling that I felt before, and in those cases, this is how I would behave. In this case, it's a different scenario. It's a different human. Does that make sense at all?
It makes sense because that's exactly how I am with you.
Yeah, it's reflective. Certain things, it's frustrating, but I know you're gonna get there. There are certain things that for the entirety, it's been that way, where I just need this to click. You've unlocked chambers within yourself in the last week that I've noticed, and that, because anybody can fake a funk, right? Anybody can talk any kind of talk or love love bomb you or sugarcoat things. I feel the energy. I feel it before it's coming. I feel it the second it changes. And I'm somebody that I can drop something right fucking now if I feel the energy has shifted, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's really beautiful.
100%. We look at our vision boards and we do them and we compare that. We don't even compare them. We look at them, we're like, yo, it's like they're the same. In the 3D, I have certain skills that you have learned from. And in the spiritual realm, there are many skills that I've learned from you. That's where we serve each other.
That's also the masculine feminine balance. That doesn't have to mean male female, whatever that balance looks like for anybody in their situation.
I don't enjoy having discomfort with you. I don't enjoy having any sort of elevated levels of stress because we laugh a lot, we hang out, all our beliefs are the same, what we believe in spiritually. These are the moments, if you're gonna rise to the occasion, because the world is changing and we are the change. It's the human change, it's changing yourself that's gonna change the collective. I'm gonna look back at this episode and be like, yo, we don't fight. I might fight you once in a while, but we don't. I'm Italian, stubbornness comes with that. Am I stubborn?
Yes. I think it's crazy you had to ask that. I know it's very different with me. I feel that, I observe that, and everyone that knows us mutually in your life, it's like, wow, I can't believe the way he is with you. So, I know.
You're the one. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for your guidance. I'm going to thank you on behalf of so many great people that reach out to you. You take the time. To me, sometimes it's draining. I'm like, why are you taking this all in? You're chosen for this.
And I don't take on anything that's draining. I am hardcore with boundaries. Anybody that I've given time to or reaches out to me or feels inspired to, I see you, I love you, and it's not a bother.
One thing that I've seen, you gotta cut people off. I've always had the empathy for people. There's so many people I've mentored over the years, and I have this empathy of, I'm not gonna give up on you, but you gotta give up on some people.
Absolutely.
You got to shut some people
up.
up.
Well, again, discernment. I will say that till the day I die. Discernment, discernment, discernment. It'll save your life. Even in the last, I don't even know how long ago it was at this point, but somebody that I was a childhood friend that I was very close with, I realized was not my close friend. I was cool for you and I would show up for you, ride or die, but then I'm getting the evil eye hardcore. Everything that I would say, it was mocked or diminished or very not celebrated. It was such an ugly energy. Every time I would leave her house or she would reach out to me, I would start feeling sick. Such a ugly energy. As an empath, that was one of my final dowsers of like, yo, I don't have to ever deal with this human again because I create my reality. You don't get to fuck with me like that.
Yeah, that takes a brave person.
Like you thought.
No, that takes, some people will say you have no empathy for people. Again, huge lesson, taking your power back. And taking your power back is also not dealing with people's energy that just don't reciprocate energy.
Yeah.
Especially when you're giving it out and as you do.
Yeah, because it's not even just siphoning my energy. You're adding evil into my force field that wouldn't otherwise be there. That is a non-negotiable. If I feel sick in my body being around you, you won't see me. You do not have access to me anymore.
I agree. Coming from the public sector and the Congress run, the mayor's office, all that, I had so many people around me that just, I would wait for it. They'd be, hey, what's going on? How you doing? I'm like, wait for it. Ask me for something. I understand I was in a position to help people, but you just take. My circle has gotten from 100,000 to 20 people. They hang out with 20 people. And they're all very special and they've all given back. And it's a two-way street. Like you don't do things to expect something back, but you also don't do things to get someone to be an energy vampire.
I'll do anything for anybody if it's of the light. I'm a demon slayer. It's nothing for me to go sit in somebody's lowest low version of their own hell. It is nothing for me to sit in that with somebody until they come out of it. That is an honor to me. In this life, that somebody would trust you on that level. It is hard to be vulnerable. It is hard to ask for help. So if somebody asks me for help and I know, again, I feel energy, I feel you before you come. I know what's genuine, what's not. I know who's gonna be able to take this and apply it and not. I'm not gonna spin my wheels. I'll give you something to go work on for a minute. And if I can't help you, is because you're not helping yourself yet. You haven't seen you in a real way yet. If I take my time with you, it's because I genuinely, deeply believe that you are on the cusp of something phenomenal in your life. Fuck yeah. I'll get you over that threshold. Let's do it.
I must be on the cusp of something epic because this one definitely, she's put me through it in the best way. And I'm grateful, and I've said this many times, I'm thankful. You are a divine one and only. You are a giant of a being. I'm going to use that all the time.
Strong like bull.
That too. How do you feel? How do you feel right now?
I feel great. I feel light.
Yeah, you do feel good? Yeah, good. How do you want to end this episode?
I got to pick a hacky sack last week, so I think it's only fair that you end. Also, I don't like being put on the spot for things. Like, I can talk for hours, obviously, but if you tell me say something, I'm like...
Give the Joker smile one more time.
I'm going to keep this till the end. How about that?
We're going to end on Meg's Joker smile.
Here she is.
She even makes the Joker smile look good. We love you. Next week, we might keep it a little lighter.
I'm going to bring this face.
But we might also have some guests with us next week. Anybody out there, we can be reached at Truth Be Told on IG, Instagram, DM us. That's the best way to get a hold of us. Peace and love, and thank you. Thank you, Meg. Proud
Thank you,
by
Adrian.
Bert. Proud by Bert is everything. Menace Media, Truth Be Told, peace and love.
We out here.